Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Brutal day yesterday. We went with the all-star slate, and they definitely let us down yesterday. 0-2-1 day yesterday. Sandy Alcantara, I think, only ended up getting to 3 strikeouts. Ended up getting crushed a lot more than I anticipated. Not a whole lot more you can do when he's hit every time he's played the Braves this season. That's just a bummer. The nerf he hit, though, I did bet on that nerf, so the nerf he hit. Alex Manoah falls 1 short on his strikeouts, and then Charlie Morton does end up getting a push for us. So, gonna take a break from baseball today. We're gonna do some college football bets today, as the first Saturday of the official college football season is underway. Got a whole lot of teams playing today. Got a whole lot of massive favorites playing today. So that means a lot of guys are gonna hit their overs. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, make sure that you there's a link down in the description I have that automatically takes you to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy. Also throws in my TAKEMYSHOT code when you guys sign up for that. So when you make your first deposit, it helps me out big time, as well as it gives you a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you throw in $20, for example, you'll get actually $40, and they'll give you another $23 just to bet on for funsies, a little risk-free bets for fun. And so that is always nice as well to get those risk-free bets. Also helps me out, like I said, big time if you guys use my code TAKEMYSHOT. Because all my picks every single day are always going to be Underdog Fantasy picks. I think it's the best player prop betting app out there. With that being said, now let's get to today's picks. All right, so my lock of the day today is going to be coming from the USC Rice game. Give me Caleb Williams today over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Gets the best quarterback offensive coordinator now as his head coach in the country. They're going to absolutely air it out today. It is Caleb Williams, and this pairing in this offense and this coaching staff is going to be absolutely insane. There's no reason to think he's not going to get 3 passing touchdowns today versus Rice. Last year when he got the opportunities, obviously he was doing that weird quarterback battle last year. When he's getting the opportunities, okay, versus Oregon, a ranked opponent, 242 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. Versus Oklahoma State, a ranked opponent, 252 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. TCU wasn't ranked at that point, but 295, 4 touchdowns versus TCU. Obviously, he's got the ability, and there's no reason to think why he can't do it today versus Rice with this better head coach. Also, over 2.5 passing touchdowns for Caleb Williams is going to be my lock of the day. Also, it's worth noting, I didn't end up throwing him in here because I don't like pairing up team players on my picks, but Jordan Addison is last year's Biletnikoff winner from Pitt. He transferred from Pitt over to USC to play with Caleb Williams in this offense. Yeah, he was going nuts with Pitt, obviously, last year won the Biletnikoff Award. There's no reason to think that he's not absolutely going to probably have a massive game today, too. I think his line's like 96.5 or something like that. I'll throw it up right here. So Jordan Addison is also not a bad shout if you guys want to, mix and max my picks and throw them up and stuff like that. So I just wanted to throw that one out there with Jordan Addison. Next up, we'll stay with these quarterbacks. We're going to go with the best quarterback in the country, in my opinion. Give me CJ Stroud here, over 337 yards passing today. In 12 games last year, he went over in 7 of those 12 games. So more times than not, he's definitely going to go over on his line. Today's taking on Notre Dame. Here's everything you need to know about that game. Notre Dame is ranked 5 and Ohio State is ranked 2. Notre Dame is a 16-point dog to just the team that is 3 overall ranks above them. That tells you everything you need to know. It tells you that the difference between number 1 and number 2 and the rest of the field is pretty immense. They're anticipating Notre Dame to get crushed today by this Ohio State team, and it makes a whole lot of sense. They've got a whole lot of offense. It's going to be hard to stick with their offensive firepower, even though Notre Dame, has history of being a great team. The offensive firepower in Ohio State is just going to be way too much for them. Notre Dame last year did play 2 quarterbacks that are technically that got drafted and went to the NFL. They played Sam Howell. He threw for 341 on him, so Sam Howell was able to go over what C.J. Stroud needs to today. And they took on Desmond Ridder, who threw for 297. To think that C.J. Stroud can throw for 40 more yards than Desmond Ridder is very realistic. So when they did play elite quarterbacks last year, and I wouldn't even put those 2 guys in elite category. At the college level, they were elite quarterbacks, right? They got drafted to the NFL. But they were able to nearly get there. So to think that C.J. Stroud can do what they couldn't is absolutely realistic. So give me C.J. Stroud over 337 yards passing today versus Notre Dame. Next on, we will take the Bijan Robinson, running back for Texas. Heisman hopeful at the running back position. Probably the highest anticipated non-quarterback offensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. So got to keep that in mind. He's probably going to be doing all that he can to try to go after that Heisman Trophy. Today's going to be taking on the University of Louisiana Monroe, ULM. The biggest difference between big-time Division I schools and lower Division I schools, in my opinion, it's the offensive line. skill guys are a dime a dozen. You're always going to find guys that are talented with the ball in their hands. It's just a matter of the guys around, that really talented skill position player. And most of the time, the difference is the offensive line. The offensive line, you're not seeing offensive linemen get drafted out of ULM, to the NFL. It's guys out of Bama. It's guys out of Georgia. It's those bigger schools get the best offensive linemen. So Bijan Robinson's going to be running behind a pretty dominant offensive line here from Texas. His head coach also, I wanted to note this, that his head coach was the offensive coordinator at Alabama when they had Najee Harris. And he has come out and said that he's going to use Bijan the same way he used Najee at Alabama. So anticipate him to get a whole lot of touches, get the ball a whole lot. 110 yards is what they're putting his line at here today. Could be close, but I'm liking this one a lot. They're probably going to be they're going to get up early in this game, so they're going to be running the ball towards more the end of this game. So Bijan should be getting a whole lot of yards toward the end of this game. So give me Bijan Robinson over 110 yards rushing today. All right, next up, we're going to go with Lamar Jackson 2.0. Give me Malik Cunningham today over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He is very, very experienced against Syracuse. He's played Syracuse 3 times. He's played them once every year. He's been a starter as a quarterback here at Louisville. And his last year, he threw 4 touchdown passes versus them. And his sophomore season, he threw 5 touchdown passes versus them. So very experienced versus the Syracuse defense and what they try to do to try to stop him. So he's had very much success versus them. Syracuse didn't get any better from what I could see. Didn't really do much to improve their team, especially defensively. And kind of look for him to attack this Heisman Trophy. He had big-time moments last year. Versus Duke, he threw for 300 yards, 5 passing touchdowns, had 224 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So, nearly 600 yards of offense and 7 touchdowns last year for Malik Cunningham in that game versus Duke. Look for him to have big-time games. Even versus Clemson last year, he only lost by a touchdown to that Clemson team. Look for him to kind of go to put on a statement here in this Week 1 game versus Syracuse and try to maybe be a dark horse for the Heisman Trophy. So look for Malik Cunningham to have a big-time game today. I don't think there's a line that you could go wrong with for him. He's got 60 yards rushing, 230 yards passing, and the 1.5 passing touchdowns. Also has an interception line. I don't really think you can go wrong with any of them. I really went back and forth with his rushing line. But I decided to go with that passing touchdown line just because of the success he's had versus Syracuse in the past. So give me Malik Cunningham as our 4th play of the day over 1.5 passing touchdowns. All right, and our 5th and final play of the day today will be a rival, believe it or not. I know if you guys have been here for a while, sometimes my rivals go completely opposite of what I say. But I'm going to ride with it. Give me Bo Nix plus 41.5 yards versus Stetson Bennett today. Actually, we can look back to last year to look at this matchup. Bo Nix took on Georgia last year, threw for 217 yards, and Stetson Bennett threw for 231 for the exact same situation that I think it's going to happen this year. That was last year when Bo Nix was a part of Auburn. It was Auburn's quarterback, obviously, last year because Anthony Brown, the Ravens' backup quarterback, was a starter for Oregon last year. But in this matchup for him, they got blown out, right? Or Georgia blew out Auburn. So Georgia, obviously, they passed the ball, in the first half. Then they're up big, so they start running the ball, not passing as much. But Auburn's still trying to get into the game. They've got to pass the ball more, right? So Bo Nix is going to throw the ball a lot more. As you could see in his stats last year, Bo Nix threw 38 passes to Stetson Bennett's 21 passes. Stetson Bennett is just not going to throw the ball as much today. He won't need to because the game probably is not going to be close between Oregon and Georgia here. So give me Bo Nix to stay within 41 yards. Also, it's fair to think that he's going to be better a year later, right, than he was last year. So give me Bo Nix to stay within 41 yards, so plus 41.5. So you'd pick the Bo Nix side of this rival, and he just has to stay within 41 yards of Stetson Bennett's total passing yards. So I'm really liking that matchup, and it'll be our last pick of the day today. All right, guys, first 5 slip we've had in a while, so got a big college football slate. Let's get it. The perfect 5 slip today will be Caleb Williams, the lock of the day, over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Give me CJ Stroud over 337 passing yards. Give me Bijan Robinson over 110 yards rushing. Give me Malik Cunningham over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And give me Bo Nix plus 41.5 over Stetson Bennett today for our perfect 5 slip. And our 3 slip, if you guys do end up wanting to throw together a 3 slip, give me the lock of the day still. Caleb Williams over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Give me Bo Nix plus 41.5 over Stetson Bennett. And then give me Bijan Robinson over 110 yards rushing would be our perfect 3 slip if you guys want to throw a 3 slip together. Also, remember, these are just my suggestion, okay? You guys, if you want to throw these 5 and 3 together, go for it. Again, these are just suggestions that I'm putting out to you guys. Mix and match these picks if you guys want to. Like I said, it's probably not a bad idea to do Caleb Williams and Jordan Addison, even though I didn't put Jordan Addison up today in my picks. It's not a bad idea to, mix and match these guys a little bit here. Just throw in Malik, just throw in CJ Stroud, just do the touchdowns with Caleb, just do the touchdowns with Malik. Not a bad idea to just throw them all in the mixtures. These are just the ones that I really like for the day and the 5 that I'll throw together. All right, so with that being said, guys, I'm probably going to throw up a college football parlay up on my Instagram today. Had a lot of bets yesterday at the books for LSU. Had a lot of bets for the Ohio State money or spread. So I think I'm gonna throw together a parlay today. I think I'm definitely gonna throw some money down on the LSU spread. It's just 3 over Florida State, and there's a lot of people saying that Florida State is just not as talented as LSU this year. So that should be a big time game, as well as that Notre Dame game is a little interesting. So keep an eye on my Instagram. I'll throw it up right here if you guys aren't following my Instagram. Gonna throw a parlay up later today. And with that being said, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.